Hey, welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to do a little detective work. We're investigating a corporate graveyard. And I'm talking about giants here. Companies that had everything, all the money, all the talent, and poof, they just vanished. So what's going on? What's the real secret to not just surviving, but thriving?
So let me ask you something, and I want you to be honest. How long do you think your company will last? No, really, think about it for a second, because odds are the answer is way, way shorter than you'd hope. The business world out there today, it's brutal, it's fragile, and it's changing faster than ever.
Get ready for this. 12 years. Yep, just 12. That's the average lifespan of a company on the S&P 500 right now. Now think about this. Back in 1935, a company could expect to stick around for 90 years. 90! So this isn't just a little dip, It's a total freefall, a massive, catastrophic acceleration of corporate death.
All right, so to figure out why this is happening, here's our game plan. We're going to start by visiting that corporate graveyard. Then we'll diagnose something called the success syndrome trap. After that, we'll uncover the ambidextrous solution, see it in action with a tale of two companies, and wrap it all up with the leader's playbook. Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1. A corporate graveyard.
Blockbuster, Kodak, Sears, these names used to be everything, right? These weren't just big companies, they were absolute titans. I mean, Sears at one point was bigger than its next three competitors combined. But here's the real head-scratcher. They didn't fail for the usual reasons. It wasn't bad management, it wasn't a lack of cash. They had everything they needed to win, and they still ended up on the scrap heap.
I mean, just look at Blockbuster. The story is legendary. It's the year 2000, and this little startup, maybe you've heard of them, Netflix, offers to sell a huge chunk of itself to Blockbuster. And what did Blockbuster do? They basically laughed them out of the room, said they were just some niche market. So you see, it wasn't a lack of opportunity. The future was literally knocking on their door, offering to partner up, and they slammed it shut.
All right, so that brings us to the core of the problem. Section 2, the success syndrome trap. Let's figure out why winning so often leads to losing.
So you might think the culprit here is obvious, right? Bad managers, lazy employees. But it's not. The real culprit, the thing that brings these giants down, it's the very success that built them up in the first place. The systems, the culture, the whole machine that made them great, it slowly turns into a cage that makes it impossible to change.
Okay, to really get this, you have to understand that every company is fighting a war on two fronts. On one side, you have exploit. This is about running the business you have today. It's all about efficiency, control, making things a little bit better, a little bit cheaper. On the other side, you have explore, and this is about finding the business of tomorrow. It's messy, it's about speed, taking risks, and trying wild new things. And here's the kicker. These two worlds need completely different mindsets, different rules, different cultures. They're practically opposites.
And that right there brings us to the official diagnosis, the success syndrome. It's what happens when that exploit machine, the one that's so perfectly tuned for today's business, becomes too powerful. It gets so good at being efficient and stamping out mistakes that it starts to see anything new, anything exploratory, as a threat. A new idea isn't seen as an opportunity, it's seen as an error, a bug in the system that needs to be crushed.
This quote from a manager inside Kodak, wow, it says it all. It's like the company grew an autoimmune disease. Its own immune system, designed to protect the cash cow, film, started attacking its own future. Think about it. Kodak invented the first digital camera, but they buried it because the success syndrome was just too powerful. The antibodies were just too strong.
So if the success syndrome is the disease, what's the cure? Well, that brings us to Section 3, the ambidextrous solution.
The solution has a fancy name, ambidexterity. But the idea is pretty simple. It's like being able to use both your right and left hand equally well. It means your company has to get amazing at doing two opposite things at the same time. Running today's business with ruthless efficiency, exploiting, while simultaneously exploring brand new ideas for tomorrow's business. It's about building an organization that can handle both of those conflicting worlds under one roof. It's not easy, not at all, But this is the secret sauce for survival.
Okay, so let's see what this looks like in the real world. Section 4, a tale of two companies. And this is the perfect case study, Kodak versus Fujifilm.
So let's set the scene. It's around the year 2000. Kodak and Fujifilm are the two undisputed kings of the film industry. They're rivals, sure, but they're basically running the same playbook. And they are both looking at the exact same existential threat, the digital camera, a technology that was about to make their main product, film, completely worthless. And what happened next tells the whole story. Kodak, they got stuck in the success syndrome trap. They panicked and just doubled down on film, trying to squeeze every last drop out of a dying business, and it led them straight to bankruptcy. But Fujifilm, they did something different. They became ambidextrous. They didn't ask, how can we sell more film? They asked, what is our deepest, most fundamental skill? And the answer wasn't just making film, it was an incredible expertise in chemistry, specifically in coatings and nanotechnology. So they took that core skill and explored. They pivoted into cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, LCD screens, and today they are a thriving $23 billion plus company. Same threat, totally different outcomes.
So what was the difference? It wasn't luck, it was leadership. And that brings us to our final section, the leader's playbook. How do you, as a leader, actually make this happen? How do you build one of these ambidextrous organizations?
Okay, so there's a 4-step playbook. First, you have to articulate a compelling strategic intent. Basically, a vision that everyone can understand, one that explains why you need to do both things at once, run today's business and build tomorrow's. Step 2, the entire senior leadership team has to be on board. They have to own the conflict and actively protect the new, fragile explore ventures from the powerful exploit business. Third, you have to separate them but also integrate them. You create separate teams, give the explorers their own space and rules, but the senior leaders act as the bridge, making sure they can share insights and resources. And finally, number 4, you have to build one common identity, an overarching culture and set of values that makes everyone feel like they're on the same team, not two warring tribes.
And this classic quote from Warren Bennis just nails it. Failing organizations are usually overmanaged and underled. You see, management is all about keeping the current system running smoothly. It's about optimizing. But leadership? Leadership is about creating what's next. So breaking free from the success syndrome, building this ambidextrous organization, that is pure leadership. It's not just a management task.
So I want to leave you with this one final thought. Just think about it for a second. Your organization, right now, is perfectly designed to produce its current results. That's not a criticism, it's just a fact. The real question is it aligned to survive the future? That is the question every single leader needs to be asking themselves. Thanks for joining me on The Explainer.